Hey guys, now does this look familiar? Ah yes, the ever so common floppy rattling door handles in our trusty 3rd gen Camaros. A lot of the time the problem resides in the return spring. Now after 30 plus years they tend to get brittle and snap, and so that is what many of us are left with. Or the handles being notorious for loosening up as a result of those crappy speed nuts that GM used. Now as a result, we're usually left with 3 choices. Number 1, you leave it and ignore it. Number 2, you replace it with another door handle, either used, new old stock, or OEM. Or 3, replace them with unique flush door handles by James Hoffman at Hoffman Design and Engineering. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you not only how to remove your stock door handles, but I'm going to be replacing them with option number 3. These are very high quality flush door handles machined from 6061 billet aluminum and 304 stainless steel by James Hoffman at his company, Hoffman Design and Engineering. Going from this to this. So, keep watching. Now, just a quick thing. If you enjoy the videos that I put on my channel, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you do decide to subscribe, please write "I subscribed" in the comments below, and I'll be sure to reply to each one of your comments. I appreciate that because it really does help the channel. Alright, so let's get back to the video. Now, for me, I was fortunate enough that I didn't actually have any of those issues. In fact, there was no actual reason for me to change them other than the fact that I had fallen in love with James' unique flush door handle design. Now, I did do an unboxing and review on his door handles in another video, and I'll link that in the description below. And guys, stay tuned a little later in this video where I'll discuss a concern that I had, and I'm going to share exactly how I resolved it. First, we want to remove the inner door handle and the panel. First, remove the dome light. And if you have a rear view mirror map light, just put the switch in the middle and it'll turn off the light. Roll down the window. Using a T30 Torx screwdriver, remove the 3 bolts holding the inner door handle on. Using a T15 Torx screwdriver, remove the 2 outer screws holding on the trim. Now, we should take note that these are longer screws than the ones that we're going to remove from the switch panels, which we'll be removing next. Now again, let's take note that the screws on the left side towards the back of the car are the only real screws on this panel. The others towards the front of the car are actually fake, so don't try and remove them. It's a good idea to have a container to organize your screws. Then, remove the hidden inner T15 screw. Remove the door lock slider by carefully lifting from the front. There is a small clip that clips to the rod, so just check because sometimes it sticks to that rod. Now take note that there's a small tooth on the bottom of the trim. So simply slide the trim back towards the back of the car to remove the trim. Man, GM sure didn't make things easy for us. Now some people disconnect the switch, but I don't want to risk breaking them, so I just leave them attached. Whether you want to disconnect the switches is up to you, but in this video, I'm going to leave them attached. Now, remove the door panel by using a door panel clip remover, or just use a putty knife. Now there are a lot of clips, 13 to be exact. In order to remove the door panel, you need to squeeze the top trim in order to unhook themselves from these hooks. There are 1 on either side. Next, if you have not yet already, we need the window rolled all the way up, otherwise we can't get access. Quick tip, while not required, I highly suggest using painter's tape to tape around the outside of your door area where you'll be working. Now, we all know accidents can happen, and why risk scratching your door? Protect it. To remove the door handle, we only need to remove two parts, the two speed nuts and the door handle rod. To remove the rod, we first unclip the top portion by rotating the clip and pulling off the rod. Now here is a picture of the outside door lock cylinder, which just happens to have the same clip. Here you can see how it is removed. Next, on the bottom, the rod is simply pulled out of the door lock mechanism. And this is what the rod looks like out of the car. Next, we need to remove the speed nuts, which, on my car, I used a 7/16 wrench. Next, remove the door handles by carefully twisting them off. And this is why we use the painter's tape. Next, clean off any dirt that was hidden underneath the door handles. And here you can see one of the speed nuts. It's not actually a threaded nut. Rather, they're a thin, heat-treated spring sheet clip that acts similar to self-trapping screws, but in this case, it creates grooves on the plastic studs. Now, the problem with this is that it leads to loose door handles, since once the speed nut loosens, well, you can't just simply screw them on tighter because there's no actual threads. Now, why GM use these instead of just putting nuts on the end or even a rivet of some sort, I wish I knew. And if anyone happens to know why, I'd definitely like to hear you in the comments below. And here is the original door handle. You can see the spring underneath that commonly breaks, causing rattling. And now, our new James Hoffman's flush design door handles. As you can see, very high quality, full stainless steel hardware. Start off by removing the nuts and the washer. Now would be a good idea to apply some thread locker to the mounting bolts. Reinstallation is exactly the same as the original. Now, temporarily place on the washers and the nuts and lightly snug down to hold the handle in place. Check that the handle is centered and not rubbing anywhere. Then, adjust as needed, and when fully satisfied, tighten down the nuts and reconnect the rod. When you're done, it should look like this. And now, the most important thing, test it out to make sure it's working perfectly fine. Now, it might actually seem obvious, but ensure that you have access through another door to get back in the car in case something goes wrong. Believe it or not, I've actually heard people getting locked out of their car without testing them first. And if you applied it, don't forget to remove the painter's tape. Lastly, roll the window down so you can reinstall your inner door panel. And you're done. And check out the before and the after results. Now, I had one concern while deciding on whether to buy these handles or not. My major concern was knowing that the handles mean there's not much room for your fingers underneath. I was actually worried that nails would start scratching the paint underneath, so I came up with this idea. I got my local detail shop to install a strip of PPF film under where the handles sit, and as you can see, they came out great. This is before, and this is the after. Well, tell me, can you see the film? Even up close, unless someone was told, you would never even know it was there. Plus, the film is so thin and that I've not had any issues opening up the door. It hasn't reduced any area to get your fingers underneath. Now, just a quick thing. If you enjoy the videos that I put on my channel, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you do decide to subscribe, please write "I subscribed" in the comments below, and I'll be sure to reply to each one of your comments. I appreciate that because it really does help the channel. Alright, so let's get back to the video. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.